Hi guys, and welcome back to part 13 of the Lunak build. And this part we're going to start with the wing. We left it making some bits last time, part 12, and this time I'm going to start actually putting some glue on, which is always good when you're building a model plane. So yeah, let's turn you down and you can see what I've done. Not a lot, I've just carried on from last time, but here we go. Oops, that's my glasses. You remember in the last video I was saying about my main spar I-beam. I made two with the splice joint there. Well, here it is. That's for the port wing. Here it is sitting in place, and I think you'll agree it looks rather spectacular. So that can glue on there, and then I can glue the top spar in there. That'll go on there like that, and then all the ribs can go in. Now that bit goes on there. All the ribs can go in, except the ribs actually have to be cut. So if I pick this one up, here's number 9, which is that one. But I have to cut it, and I've marked on the jig where the little cuts are, so I should cut between those two marks. And also at the back it needs to have a section cut out of it. Again, what I'll probably do actually is to maybe mark it off for the plan. So if we get, say, rib, assuming this is correct, if I get rib 9, put it over the plan and then cut where it's shown. And to aid that process out, obviously I can't see where the cuts are because these bits are the ailerons. What I'll do, I'll just extend the line with a pencil and a rule, so it'll be something like this. I'll draw a line there. I'll draw a line there, and when I put the rib on the top, I'll just draw those lines in and make the cut. Before I do that though, I'm actually going to measure the distance between there and there and make sure it corresponds with that, because I don't want to cut it short, and I'm not happy with, as you know, this plan, everything has to be double checked before you start doing cuts. So, and the other thing that I need to consider is putting in these ribs need to be glued. There's a cross brace here and here, diagonals. Might be worth putting those in. No, I'm not sure. I was going to say put them in first, but maybe not. The more you can get built on the board, the better, because it prevents warps creeping in. This line here, by the way, is just the tube for that takes the control wire to the bell crank, operates the aileron, which because I'm not doing. I also mustn't forget to put holes in the ribs for the cabling. I was toying with sheeting, because the whole wing originally is 0.4mm ply sheeted. I'm going to use 16th balsa with an open structure. I was toying with maybe boxing this part in ply. If I could use 16th ply, I'd make it really strong, because if I use anything less, then I'm going to have a difference in height, which is going to be a bit annoying unless I cover the whole lot in sort of 1/32 balsa, which is a bit thin, to be honest. Things break easily, although I have considered, and I probably will, glass the leading edge, just to protect it from the area where we fly can get a little bit stony if you're unlucky. Small stones, I'm not talking boulders, although we do fly near boulders sometimes. So yeah, I've also got to consider the air brake. The plan shows a built-up air brake coming out. I don't fancy that. It's going to be something like that, just comes up and out. Angle on this piece of wood here that just sets the rib for the correct angle. But at the same time, I want to make sure that the rib is absolutely flat, because that's going to go on the absolutely flat rib on the fuselage. If it's not, then it's going to look a bit awkward. The dihedral angle is also set by this main spar as well, which has got the same angle cut into it. Because I was going to lessen the dihedral, so it's the brass bar, which I've yet to cut, which I could cut. The brass tube, I should say. It's not a tube. Do you call the rectangular item a tube? I don't know. It's a square box. That has to be cut to fit in there. And this bottom corner has to be eased out. If I show you on there, that bottom bit is cut to take that, oh, that's point. No, that's right, yeah. I'm going to cut the angle at the bottom there, so that goes against there like that. And then the whole lot is sheathed in ply both sides. But I've got to cut off that bottom corner. The bottom spar is pinned down, so that's not moving. And this one can come out temporarily. It's 4mm square. Two there. Let's put it aside. This here's mine. This here is in position. I've measured, measure everything with this aeroplane. I've measured the length of that on the wing and got that to match. I think maybe, oh, yeah, that's the other thing. This made me laugh when I found out, I can tell you. Oh, how I laughed. You would think that these slots were cut. This is one of the major problems I had. Well, just something else that caught me out. These slots, this is the top, this is the bottom. These slots are cut from the top down. The ribs are cut from the top down. They should be from the bottom up. So this is actually wrong. These should be marked going upwards, not downwards. So as I'd already cut the ribs, I've had to cut this going upwards, which means it has to be assembled back to front, if you like. I'd sooner put the spar down and then put the ribs in, but now I've got to do it the other way around. The ribs have to go in and then the spar has to drop down onto it because of the cut. So let's just pop the ribs out. Go on out. So the ribs have to go in first. And that's another thing, is this rib is, the notch is too far in by about 4mm. Can't be helped. I might leave the first one because I can put that in on the side, because I want to make sure I don't want to glue it all in and then have to try and hook this in underneath. So I think I'll put this down first. Just move that out of the way. So the first rib I'm going to put in is R2. The other thing as well, I haven't cut the riblets yet between these, and these riblets are there's nothing on the plan for them. They're merely a riblet which is halfway between each rib, if you know what I mean. What I mean is in size. So they actually say cut the riblet using that as a template and then sand it down to the size you want. Okay, I can do that. Perhaps ought to cut that riblet first then. Haven't cut them already. These are the ends of these ribs, so that's R4, which is that one there somewhere. So there we go. Let me cut this one. And I'm going to use 3/32 balsa, which is what I use for all the other ribs. Let's squeeze it out of there, shall we? Squeeze it. Oh, look at that. Perfect. Now this bit's straight down because the brass tube is packed out with plywood each side. And it'll have to be sanded slightly smaller. Now, a couple of you commented on the last video, part 12, that the wing looked very complicated, and I said it's not really complicated. You've just got to understand what the designer has done. I'll just mark this F2 R2. What the designer has done, and work out how you're going to build it, because you know, no point sticking things down and then wish you'd done it the other way or something. While I'm here, then let's cut R3. So that's actually, it's not R2, is it? It's actually R2. We'll call it R2A because it's halfway between the two. R2A. So that'll be that one there. But it has got to be sanded down a little bit. And same with R3. Just quickly cut that one out and get that out of there. Oh, look at that. Perfect. Just thinking actually as well, I ought to be duplicating this for the other wing as well. R3A. Each A is down from the last. So just let me cut these two bits out now, and then I'll be back in a minute. Okay then guys, and so it begins. So I cut out a couple of the riblets here to make a start. So I want to get glue in really, so that's what I'm going to do. Put a block there, put a block there. That's going to hold it on the line, nice and upright. I might have to put a weight on the top though, because I can't put a pin through this, not easily anyway. That's holding that down pretty nice. I've got a little bit of springing going on there. Oh, no wonder, look, I've got the board under it. Still a small amount, so yeah, you don't want to build your building board into it. Let me just put a pin there, like just to hold it down. R3 in, like that. And a couple of blocks to hold it upright. And on the line, this is great guys. Now this is modelling. This is great. When you start getting those bits in, you know you're making good progress. I put that across there like that, and then put a weight in there like that. That'll hold it down, that'll hold it upright. When am I going to glue this in? The actual main. Oh, I couldn't glue it in until that rib was in anyway. I'm just wondering if I ought to put this in next. That there goes in the centre, it goes between there, that goes out of the way, that goes in there. I can glue that in, and then if I glue one of these ribs in, that'll hold that in the right position. What I'm aiming to get is a piece of glue that's sort of even on down the centre line of the spar. Come on, go on in there.
Make sure that's not pushing too hard on there. Check the end. That's nice. Right, it's grabbing very quickly actually, quite nicely. So what I'm going to do is just put some diagonals in like we did just now, but it is hard wood, so I'll take a bit of pushing. Next piece, number 6, thank you very much. Each one slightly smaller than the next. This is going to have a big section cut out of it after the assembly for the air brake design. Look at that, that's a nice sitting there just beautifully. These have now dried and I've just offered the 4mm square piece in, but before I glue it I want to glue these pieces in, the intermittent ribs, but before I glue those in I want to glue this rear spar in. So I'll glue R1 in at the same time, or yeah, perhaps I'll just put this in first. So everything lines up, all the slots line up with the ribs. So let's get some glue in there. Let's just whack it in there. I'll turn it over and do the other side in a minute so I'm not squeezing it in too hard. I'll do the end and I'll do the end. Just take that out a minute. Let's just clean up this glue joint a bit. Before I sheet this, I'm going to sand the back edge of this so as it picks up a nice angle. This glue is pretty good actually. Its take up is so quick. Right, I'll just get on with cutting these and I'll glue them in, and then I can come back and we'll glue that piece in there. +5. Right guys, there we are. It's been an hour or two, so time to put the bit of 4mm square in, so let's do that. That's all right, isn't it? Yeah, it's time to do that. Now this is end grain here, so I'm going to sort of put on a reasonable amount. Side grain in it, but I'm not going to let it run down too much. I'm going to try and go back now, just that's okay, that's running down a bit. If you give it a little wipe, it sort of wipes it into the grain and keeps it there. Okay, let's drop that in then. It's over length, I'm going to leave it over length. Well, I'll bring it up to about there. It's a good tight fit, which is what I like. There we go. Make sure it's down. I'm happy with that. I'll put a weight on there. Let's borrow one there as well. So let's put the glue on. So what I do, I put that on there, and so as it doesn't all get scraped off, I then go back to that side. There we are. So I'm going to do that with all the other ribs, or at least a few more. Now I'll come back and we'll have a look, see how I'm getting on. Cheers guys. Cheers, cheers, cheers. Okay guys, I've cut the brass tube that takes the main spar steel. It goes in butts up to the main spar, this part, like that. So it's a little bit proud, but that's all right. So now I can glue this in, and it has plywood wedges top and bottom. It has plywood either side. The whole lot's going to be epoxied and plywood there, so the whole lot's encased in plywood. It's pretty good and pretty solid to me. So, and that sets a dihedral in when you slide it onto the straight bar. I've cut out all the plywood facings and angled bits to glue the brass in. Now, there's no reason why I can't glue it in. So that's what I'm going to do. I've shined it up so the epoxy sticks to it. And as I say, this will just close itself up as it goes in and provide a bearer for the bottom. So the object is this will be covered in plywood all the way around. There we go. And plywood and top and bottom, and then the top spar will go on the top, and then I'll put some plywood. I might just put ply on the first two bays, something like that. Quite a bit of epoxy on there. Like I say, it's one of the most important pieces. If that isn't very strong, then the plane won't stay up there very long. And we'll let that set off. We'll come back to it and see how it's looking. See you soon. Right then, guys, a quick update. I've glued in all the intermediate ribs and rib fronts. They stop there, the intermediates. So, and I've just tapered down each rib because it goes lower and lower as it gets to the end. So as soon as they're set off a little bit, I'll put in the centre ones, and then we'll be getting close. Close to what? I don't know. We're getting close to something. Anyway, it's looking more like a wing now, isn't it? If you get a few more ribs in. Just two things left to do really immediately, and that is to pop on the top main spar, and which completes the I-beam, and cut a leading edge. I haven't cut a leading edge yet. This is just the a dummy, but that's out of 1/8. So I'm going to do that as soon as I put the main spar in. Now the main spar, this bit here, has got the epoxy oozed out from when I clamped on the top, and I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to put epoxy on the top, so I'm going to put epoxy on this bit, white glue on the rest. I think I'll try and sort of just get it on and then go over with my finger to spread it out evenly and get it in the end grain a bit more. Okay, I think we're good to go. So let's go. Just wipe that off. Oops, cracked it a bit. Oh, not cracked it, but just caught the edge. It's going to have cap strips anyway, so all will be good. There we go. Down, down, down. Let's just tidy up around the edge, and we'll be good to weigh it down. I think we're good to weigh it down now, guys. That's okay. These ribs are slightly proud, but that's all right due to the sandwich method of construction, but they'll sand down easily to section. Let's put some of the big ones. Let's bring the big guns out here, I think, for this end. guns. That is very much it. So the next job is to make the false leading edge, and I'll have to measure it and splice it and stick it on, but it looks something like this, which is that part of the main spar for the other wing, but just a bit of tapered 1/8 actually. So I'll work that out in a minute and we'll get that glued on. Oops, I cut the what do you call it? The spar? False leading edge. Call it false leading edge. That goes in there. Cleaned up the front of the ribs. I've decided I'm going to just sit it straight down onto the table, and then I'll shape it when I take the wing off. Same with the top, I'll just shape it when I take the wing off. So I've done a scarf joint up here, and I'm just going to now going to just apply, because it's all end grain, I'm just going to apply a little bit of glue onto each rib using this piece of wood here, just to give it a bit of a chance of sticking, because as you know, end grain and glue just gets soaked in here. So this is working okay. I know it's not like me to not use my fingers, but this is okay. Incidentally, for those of you who watch my videos that seem to think my construction's perfect, it's a long way from perfect. I guess it's not bad, but I'd be embarrassed if you came and actually looked at it in real time. No, I wouldn't be embarrassed at all, actually. It'd be great to have you here. Wouldn't that be cool? These last ones aren't quite so important because they're ply, and some of them are. That one is. And then this will pretty much, I've got a bit on the end of there. This will pretty much see the wing ready to come off and start sanding the trailing edge, the leading edge, and then I can start getting the sheeting on. The more accurately you can work, the better everything fits together. Okay, here we go. Pop it on. Pop it on, not pop it on. It goes behind there and on there, all the way down. That was cool. I'm just going to put some of my favourite blocks down. This also ensures things are vertical as well, which is pretty good. I think that will do very nicely. The other thing I did, I went down over the top of the ribs as well, sanding from the main spar forward, trying to get them all equally level. I know I haven't done much in this video. It's been I've been distracted a little bit with life, you know what I mean? But that isn't bad. So we'll call that done. Give it well, possibly overnight to dry. Yeah, might have to just leave that overnight, I think, guys. Just in case this is the last installment for the wing. Thank you very much for watching, and give the video a thumbs up. It'd be cool as well. And new year, new fans. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. We're getting closer to 10,000 subscribers, which is a massive number. After that, it's 100,000, so I'm just going to forget it. If you're not a member of the channel, take a look down below at the memberships, and it'd be great to have you on board. So cheers guys.